Does climate variability matter in achieving food security in Sub-Saharan Africa? Hi viewers, here comes your update. Research published in Science Direct by Yaya Diome, Peter Asare Nuama, Jonah Kondowe, Aloysius Mom, and Rejoice Rambidzai. Does climate variability matter in achieving food security in Sub-Saharan Africa? Food security is a critical issue in Sub-Saharan Africa, SSA, and is a priority in global development efforts. Achieving food security in SSA has the potential to alleviate hunger, poverty, and malnutrition. However, there are several challenges that hinder the achievement of food security in the region. One of the main challenges is that SSA lags behind other regions in terms of food security. This is due to factors such as subsistence agricultural practices and the lack of mechanization. The COVID-19 pandemic has further exacerbated food insecurity in Africa, pushing vulnerable populations into severe food insecurity and extreme poverty. Climate variability also heavily affects food security in SSA, particularly in the agriculture sector. Unreliable rainfall patterns and rising temperatures have led to reductions in crop yield quantity and quality for smallholder farmers. However, existing literature mainly focuses on food availability or production, overlooking other dimensions of food security. Limited studies have applied the Food Security Index at the regional level in Africa, particularly in connection to climate change. Empirical results suggest that precipitation positively influences food security, while higher temperatures have a negative impact. Carbon dioxide emissions have mixed associations with food availability and accessibility. To achieve food security in SSA, robust and feasible policies are required to mitigate the impact of climate vulnerability on agriculture. A better understanding of how climate affects agricultural production is needed, particularly for smallholder farmers. The economic impact of climate variability is significant, as rainfall volatility contributes to food insecurity in developing countries like SSA. Variability in precipitation and temperature has adverse effects on crop production. Climate change has adverse effects on vulnerable countries, particularly those in Africa and South Asia. Future projections indicate significant changes in rainfall patterns and warmer temperatures, putting severe pressure on food security. Rainfall and temperature have significant effects on crop production and food security. Additionally, CO2 emissions contribute to food security challenges by accounting for a significant portion of annual greenhouse gas emissions. The study utilized panel-corrected standard errors, PCSE, estimation to investigate the effects of climate-related factors on food security in 40 SSA countries from 2000 to 2021. The study's dependent variable is food security, with independent variables including temperature, precipitation, and CO2 emissions. Food security is a complex issue that involves multiple dimensions such as availability, accessibility, stability, and utilization. A broader approach to food security is necessary to capture its true nature and status. Principal Component Analysis, PCA, was employed to construct a food security composite index using different categories of data representing the dimensions of food security. The study developed an econometric specification to model the effect of climate-related factors on food security. 3 specific objectives were set out for the models, focusing on temperature, precipitation, and CO2 emissions impact on food security. Food security in SSA countries has shown an overall increase from 2000 to 2021, although with varying levels of improvement. However, contemporary concerns about hunger and food insecurity are at an all-time high in Africa. Temperature in SSA has been warming at a faster pace than the world's mean surface temperature, leading to increasing frequency and severity of extreme weather events like heat waves, droughts, floods, and storms. Precipitation in SSA has shown significant fluctuations, raising serious concerns about addressing food insecurity in the region. Despite Africa's relatively small contribution to global CO2 emissions, there has been a recent rise in emissions in SSA between 2000 and 2021. CO2 emissions are positively correlated with the Food Security Index in SSA. The average Food Security Index for the selected SSA countries is 0.367, indicating that these countries are still far from achieving food security within the sub-region. Significant variations in temperature, precipitation, and CO2 emissions are observed across the selected SSA countries. Correlation analysis reveals a negative association between food security and temperature, inflation, population growth, and GDP per capita growth. On the other hand, a positive relationship is observed between food security and precipitation, CO2 emissions, merchandise trade, and political stability in SSA. The study used the Panel-Corrected Standard Error (PCSE) estimation technique to analyze different dimensions of food security, enhancing the consistency and stability of the results. Climate variability poses a threat to achieving Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) in SSA, impacting food security, climate action, and poverty alleviation. Higher temperatures reduce food security and agricultural productivity in arid regions, affecting smallholder farmers and the nutritional value of crops. Precipitation has a positive association with food availability, emphasizing the need to address water stress in agricultural production. CO2 emissions have a positive impact on plant growth and crop yield, contributing to improved food security. Non-climate-related factors such as trade openness, governance improvement, political stability, and addressing population growth are essential for enhancing food security in SSA. Policy recommendations include capacity building of smallholder farmers through the adoption of robust technologies to reduce vulnerability to climate shocks. Incentive mechanisms and partnerships with the private sector and international development community are needed to upscale agricultural innovations. Improving access to reliable climate information services is crucial for smallholder farmers to make informed decisions and mitigate the impact of climate change on agriculture. The study's data is available in the public domain, and no direct funding was received for this research. Supplementary materials provide additional information such as a list of selected SSA countries. References from relevant academic and research sources support the study's findings. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. Subscribe or follow us for more.